Do you know, I didn't actually have any perceptions about what it was going to be like. I kind of just jumped in, and thinking that I was probably the oldest, or among the oldest, probably the least experienced, and just see what happened. And it was only when I kind of arrived and it was sort of dark on the evening of the Saturday and everybody was very, very quiet, and I kind of walked in and there were sort of people walking around barefoot. I thought, oh my goodness. and Harry met me, and he was ever so nice and calm, and said, go and, you know, get some food or whatever, help yourself to some food. And I thought, crumbs, what have I done? But I didn't really know what to expect. But it's incredibly easy to relax into the kind of ambience of the place here. You know, within a very short period of time, you feel very much part of it. And I don't mean relaxing and taking it easy, but just kind of like you feel like you're meant to be here. So it was interesting, but it was also surprising to see the kind of age group, you know, because it literally is from 20 to about 60, I think. And probably one of the best things that happened was Vidya on the first morning just saying, don't worry about how far you get with your practice. It's your practice and it's fine. And if other people are going further, that's fine. If others aren't. And I think that was probably, I breathed the biggest sigh of relief at that point, because I knew I couldn't do as much as some of the others, but it was okay, you know. And that kind of, you go, oh, okay, it's all right, you know. And so suddenly you start to sort of feel part of it, and any worries, I would say any concerns walking to the dome on that first morning went within probably the first 10 minutes of her speaking, because she just relaxed, certainly me, but I think others as well, into feeling like, okay, it's all right, you do have, it's okay for you to be here, you know. Well, I think I chose to have a room on my own, which I think was a good thing for me personally, because I need some space. I need to be able to go and just take myself away and do the homework quietly. And it helps me be more, you know, nicer when I'm with people, because I have space to like be away. I would have struggled if I'd been sharing or had like been in the dorm, although they seem to have got on really well. But I think as far as getting on with people, it was really funny. On the first day, I think Vidya said, you're going to go into breakfast groups, and one person said, what's the purpose of the breakfast groups, you know, like why would we do this sort of thing? She just said, well, you know, just try it, you know, kind of, you'll see. And we went into, like, so after we'd been to the morning practice and we'd meditated and had the first sort of yoga session, we just sat around for the breakfast groups and just talked about our experience. And then by the end of breakfast, you knew exactly why she suggested it, because we just had this group of people who were instantly connected. And the thing that we found through the 3 weeks was that was a really relaxed place to be, because we came together, the same breakfast group every morning. Actually, we were able to relax in each other's company, rather than being sitting with people we didn't know and you have to kind of like slightly sort of talk or ask questions. We just sort of could sit there or we could talk, but it was really relaxing coming to that, like coming home, because you kind of like, you know, those people. So that was a really good way of getting people to get to know each other quickly that really worked well. I would say that the way it was structured and the individuals involved were there whenever we needed them. I think if I'd needed more support, it would have been there from whoever I needed it from, whether it was, you know, Vidya herself or Emily with regards to poses or the practice, or Kaylee. I think if I'd needed more, they would have been only too happy to have helped. I kind of muddled through, you know, without needing too much, but there's definitely a feeling that anything you needed was catered for, even to Harry. You know, if you needed something, it was sort of easily, you know, it could happen easily. So no, I definitely felt supported, although I didn't hugely need it. But well, that's magical. I mean, it's always interesting when you arrive somewhere at night and you don't know quite where you've come to, you know. And then in the morning, and I didn't know even until I came out the dome, because when we went to meditate at 7, it was dark everywhere. So I was like, I tripped over the path and nearly fell over on the way over and that sort of thing. But like came out, and was like, oh my goodness, it's absolutely beautiful. And you look around in every direction, it's a beautiful view. And then the thing that I really noticed on the first night was the sky, because it was so expansive and the stars were so clear, and I could make out different, kind of, whatever you call them, kind of Orion's belt, and that was really striking. So it's striking in the daytime with all the green and beautiful hills and the birds, and then this kind of this incredible night sky was really that will definitely stay with me, memory. You have to mention the food, because the food is incredible. The idea of trying to create 3 meals for 50 odd people every day I would never sleep. And I think it's Gemma, isn't it? She does it, and the food is delicious, has some really incredible food. So I wanted to say that because it was just fantastic, fresh, delicious. And I think everybody's feeling like they've eaten too much. So back to your question. It was so funny because I said this to Vidya in one of the morning meetings. I came here for yoga as a kind of exercise. I'd kind of done very little really compared to lots of people, and I liked it, and I thought, well, I'd be really interested to find out more. But finding out the kind of the philosophy side of it, the history, I have found so interesting. It's just been really enlightening. I mean, really, to the extent I kind of want to go much more deeply into it. But also, I didn't expect to feel quite so passionately about seeing yoga practice, because it's so beautiful. When you see everybody move, whether it's quite a simple move to something that's quite complicated, it's really, really beautiful. And also the creativity, which none of this had crossed my mind. I probably sound a little ignorant on the whole thing, but I just had done some classes. I had not done very much, but I'd done sorts of flow classes, and I hadn't really taken that much notice of whether they were themed or anything. They were just classes. But the creativity that you can bring to it with, you could, I said this the other day, you could probably do 1,000 different practices, and no two would be the same, because of all the different ways to approach it and the different poses and the ability, that Vidya has to kind of like flow and make these beautiful creative flows between poses. It's just, I think it's incredible. So that's been, the philosophy has been amazing to sort of like dive into this sort of world of being yoga rather than doing yoga, and then kind of learning about the poses, and then all the sort of the whole anatomy side, which has just opened another door, kind of quite a complicated door, but which I need to find out more about, but it all kind of coming together. So it's really been interesting, and suddenly there's kind of other areas which I want to find out more about. The practice of the asanas, the actual kind of flow. So I know I can do it. I know I can teach. What I want to do is it was hard doing the classes, because probably when we were teaching the 2 classes, the first one was terrible. It was just terrible. I just saw white light and my mind went blank. But part of that was that everybody I was teaching knew everything, all the flows, probably better than me, and probably could do them better than me. And so that there's a sense of, if you didn't actually get everything right, everybody in the room could do it. We're probably going through it in their head. And I think a little bit of that pressure is taken away when you're outside of here. Not completely, but a little bit. But I think working out flows for, whether it's, I'm thinking about the people I want to show, kind of like do the trials with and show kind of some of the things I've learned. I think kind of creating some flows from what I've learned and making them my flows for them will be interesting. And I think I'll definitely be able to do it. It'll take me a while to be good. I mean, I don't know if I've got 40 years, but it's going to take me a while to kind of... I think I'm definitely going to need the 10 kind of before I could kind of tell people that that's what I did. it's a really good idea to do the 10 free ones, because then you can just go, well, hang in there, bear with me, I'm doing my best kind of thing. But then when people are paying you, you've got to, give them value for money and know what you're doing. Don't put it off. So, as I say, I have less experience actually than I kind of told Vidya. So don't tell her that bit. But I kind of had been doing it, but not to the extent I really needed to do it up until sort of this year, really. But I'm so glad I did it. If I hadn't have done it now, I wouldn't have been able to. It's this window that I could do it, and I'm so pleased because I was able to just find out all this stuff and do this, be part of this thing that's kind of opened up this complete world that I'm really, really interested in. And I could have put that off and thought, well, I'm going to wait till I'm better, or I can do more, or I can do a handstand in the middle of the room, and I might have missed this because something else stopped me doing it. So I would say, if you're even slightly thinking about it, do it, because it doesn't matter if you can't do the handstand right now and you don't know all the Sanskrit names and all the muscles in the body. It doesn't matter right now. Just do it, get the experience, and then build on it. Don't put it off. So that would be what I would tell people. Do it sooner rather than later. I mean, I was listening to we did the envisioning practice, and I'm going to see if I can come back for that, because that was so much fun. That's probably slightly shocking as an English person, because we don't normally like jumping up and down and shouting things out, but that was really good. And also the advanced course, but I think you really need to get the practice in before you do that and really know everything that we've learned here properly, not just sort of the thin surface that I'm scratching at the moment to try and remember. So, but yeah, definitely.